Welcome to the Julie Poole Show, where we discuss all things mind, body, and soul. In today's episode, I'm going to be discussing with you this enormously powerful time that we're in at the moment in March 2023, the dawning of the new world, the dawning of the golden age. So as we approach the astrological new year, on the 20th of March 2023, with the huge power of Saturn and Pluto both changing signs, significant shift into a different energy, we begin to feel the shifts and changes within us on multiple levels. So how is this affecting us? What's it all about? That's what we're going to be discussing today. So we've known that this has been coming for many, many decades. There was a build-up with lots of changes in the early part of the 20th century with the two world wars, with the shifts and changes through the economic depression of the 30s. This erupted in the 60s with a demand for more equality, more freedoms, more respect, more empowerment. And we saw many battles erupt all over the world as different fractions of society fought for their rights. The right to be, the right to be seen, the right to be heard, to no longer be invisible and pushed down. It is the birthing of this new way of being that battled its way through the 60s and 70s and 80s. Different countries saw different eruptions, but they were all pushing open. I'm visualizing an image of a butterfly pushing itself out of the chrysalis. It's not an easy thing to do. It's uncomfortable. A baby being birthed through the birth canal, it's uncomfortable for both mother and baby, but it's absolutely worth it as you see that new life. And that's what's happening to us. I've seen this shift because I was born in the 60s. I've seen this shift through my lifetime, and I have watched with excitement and anticipation the changes, particularly since the millennium. We felt this big shift, and we knew another one was coming in 2011 and 2012, and there has been various openings of energetic portals through this last 20 years. And so this is the last kind of big one before we really start to align with this new energy, this new vibration. Now, the golden age, the new world, has been talked about for a long time. And the time scale that was put on it really was the big part of it. The big shift was going to be between 2012 and 2032, that 20-year period. It isn't to say that we get to 2032 and we suddenly wake up into a brand new energetic place. It is a gradual birthing, morphing. It is a gradual incubation period while everything is being put into place. Now, these shifts and changes are not just happening for humanity, they're also happening for the planets and our planet Earth, Mother Gaia. Everything is shifting, and as we raise our vibration, the other planets in our universe and the multiverses also shift. Everything is raising up. So what does that mean? What is the impact of a higher vibration of this raising up? What does it mean? Well, it is about increasing our connections. We have many, many connections. And initially, when we think of connections, we tend to think about our relationships with others. But really, that comes last. I want to talk, first of all, about our relationship and connection with ourself, and more accurately, ourselves. We have multiple energetic bodies, and each of those are changing and realigning. Now, before you're awakened, you really, most of us only have a kind of strong awareness of our relationship with our physical form, our humanity. As we become more awakened, more aware, we start to develop a relationship with our emotional body. We start to really tap into our feelings and become aware when our feelings are off, when they are out of alignment, when we're out of balance. And we feel that impact on our physical body. So we begin to realize that we have a physical body, of course, but actually we have an emotional body that impacts the physical body. So when we're feeling out of sorts, we can physically feel those symptoms. We can get turbulence and bad stomachs. We can get headaches. We can get many different physical symptoms within the digestive tract. We can get all sorts of problems in the body because it's out of alignment with ease. So there's ease where everything's comfortable, and there's dis-ease when everything's uncomfortable. And when our emotional body is off, it affects our physical body and it goes into an uncomfortable place. Now we can feel into this energy vibrationally and ask ourselves, how is this impacting me? In what way? In what area? And why? Let's start with the why. And I have a channeled message coming through from the higher realms. So I'm just going to hand it over to them. When I talk in the third or first person, just allow this because they want to speak through me. So let's allow that now. This dawning of the new age, as you call it, this vibrational shift into the fifth dimension, has been planned for over a millennial now. It has been in the planning for longer than that, some 12,000 of your years since the age of Atlantis, and before that, the age of Lemuria. There were times where we walked amongst you. There were many times where we walked amongst you. You will see the evidence of this in your history with your pyramids, with your caves, with your huge, sudden advances in technology with the building of the pyramids. We have been amongst you periodically on and off for many, many, many years now. We walk again amongst you now. There are planets within the multiverses that are of a lower vibration than your own planet Gaia. There are planets of a much higher vibration amongst the universes. There are peoples that have extremely advanced technologies. It is time for some of these technologies to be shared with you, with your peoples, with your advancements. This has been coming through now very strongly for the last 200 years, and it is continuing to move through. There are those among your people in control that do not like, wish, or desire these advancements. However, it is time for them to come through, and come through they will. But through this birthing process of the new technologies, of the new energies, there is discomfort. And we would encourage you to acknowledge the discomfort, but do not let it overwhelm you. Be aware that over the last 50 years, your vibration as people has been raising significantly as you push through from control to liberation, to freedom, to free thought, to free thinking, to awareness. Your connection within yourself is strengthening, is growing, is expanding. As it grows and expands, you become more aware of yourself and the many multiple facets of yourself and within others. You begin to see and feel into others' energy, what you would call empathic. Many of you describe yourself as empathic, but you see, my dears, you have always been empathic. This is the soul part of you that recognizes other souls and other souls' vibrations, always has and always will. However, within that soul recognition was a closing down of the mind of anything that was not tangible, touchable, logical. And so it was, if you will, a screen between you and the reality, a screen that blocked much of what is there, keeping it away from your awareness, keeping you in what you may call blissful ignorance. For if you do not know what you are missing, you cannot be disappointed or upset. You cannot be frustrated or angry. Yes, angry. Anger is an emotion and is valid and is emotion that drives change. So we would encourage you to embrace all of your feelings, including that which is anger, for it is a powerful driving force for change. Let us come back to this new world, new dawning. It began very strongly over 100 years ago, but you did not see the evidence of this for some time. The evidential changes really started to become noticeable in your 1960s, when many of your peoples started crying out for change, crying out for power, liberation, freedoms, equalities, and pushing forward with those changes. Those souls that came at that time signed up to be part of that significant change, just as you have signed up to be part of this current significant change that you are in the midst of experiencing. This build-up of knowledge that we have been channeling through many of you since the 1980s in the forms of your many books on the law of attraction, on the emotional impact on your bodies, physically, mentally, emotionally, on the books that came through from your empowerment, your I am, your God force, your creative force, your power to make change. This information has been spreading across your planet now for some 50 years. As each one of you awakens, we wish for you to know the power that that holds, not just for you, but for the collective. As your vibration and awareness raises, it raises the collective vibration, which in turn has a ripple effect, allowing and enabling and encouraging others to also awaken. A new thought, a new way of thinking, a new belief structure. As your awakening continues, there are those on your planet in positions of power that feel their power slipping away and resist this strongly. What you may call, and what we call, project fear. For when the masses are in fear, they are very easy to control. They are very easy to squash. They are very easy to put back in their box. Those that cry out for change, when they are in fear, will go back into their box. So our suggestion to you, we strongly encourage that you rise above this fear, that you see it for what it is, a control mechanism, a disempowering mechanism. This time that you are currently experiencing, and although we help you understand this shift in March of 2023, this shift will continue for the next decade. So any time that you hear this message is relevant for you at the time. However, this shift in March 2023 encourages more truth, encourages more light to shine on the darkness for you to see and be aware of the lies, the misinformation, the control, the dampening down of your spirit, your beautiful human spirit, which we so admire. See the fear, but do not fear it. Be aware of it without buying into it. Come at the fear from a perspective of compassion and understanding. Send love into the fear. Allow yourself to recognize those who are losing their grip of absolute power are afraid, and for a long time always won and regained their power and assume that they will do so again. And the more you as people cry out for change, the more they will ramp up the fear and control to squash the desire for change. But you see, my dears, it cannot be squashed. It cannot be cancelled. Not this time. It is too late. The vibration has risen too high. However, does it mean that the transference of power from the few to the many is an easy process? No, not at all. It is a birthing process, and birthing is uncomfortable. The birthing canal is uncomfortable for both the baby and the mother. However, despite the discomfort, you do not stop having babies, because you know that a beautiful new form of life comes out of that discomfort. And that when you hold that new life, the pain is forgotten in an instant. It is similar of this shift that you go through. Now, what you call a long time, we would call an instant, because we see time as irrelevant. We see energy, and we see what you would call a longer period. So we would liken your lifetime of years into days. That will help you in your shifting and changing into this new world. So let us go back and discuss once again these connections that are changing within you. We have shared with you the different energetic bodies that you have within your one human form. There are multiple, but the main 5 you need to know about is your physical form, of course. Your emotional body is also a separate entity. Your mental thought process is a separate entity. Your soul source energy is a separate entity, and your energetic vibration is a separate entity. But all 5 of these bodies, while separate, are a synergy. They all communicate with each other. They share a vibration with each other. What impacts one impacts the other. And so it is with all things. Let us repeat, and so it is with all things. When your emotions are in pain, you feel the pain within your physical body in the form perhaps of a headache or a stomach ache. You feel the form of your emotions being disturbed when your mental body is out of alignment with well-being. When you are in what we would say negative thoughts, despairing thoughts, then that will impact the emotional body and your energetic body. So you see, each connects with the other and impacts the other. Now we ask you to see that in a bigger, wider, more expanded version. You are 5 parts. You are more than 5, but let us stay with the 5 for a moment. You are 5 parts. Each of the 5 parts impacts the other. What hurts one hurts the other. When one is in joy, the others are in joy. It is the same with you as people. When one of you hurts, the others hurt. When one of you is in joy, the others are in joy. There is a transference of energy between you, and you may call this transference connections. So, in these connections are changing. You are becoming more aware of each other and yourself. You are becoming more aware of truths and lies, of joys and fears. You are becoming more aware of balance and imbalance, of well-being and disharmony. And so you are then in a position of power to choose. Which do you choose? Harmony, joy, liberation, power, or fear, control, disempowerment. You see, when you are not aware, you lose the ability to choose, what you would call blissful ignorance. You cannot miss what you do not know. Over the coming decade, your knowing will increase exponentially. Your knowing will rise. You will know more of your own power. You will know more of your own spiritual connection to all that is and each other. You will know more of freedom and repression. And so there is a rising of resistance against control. There is a rising of anger, and many of you resist anger because it is a negative emotion. However, it is a powerful emotion that drives change when it is used wisely, when it is used constructively. So we encourage you to feel and step into all of your emotions and use them to drive the change that is happening. We wish to explain the impact not just on yourselves and your planet, but also on the multiverses and across space-time dimensions. Although, as we have mentioned, truly there is no time, there is only the now, and all things live simultaneously, experience simultaneously across different dimensions. But we understand that this is a difficult concept for many of you. But let us just explain the rising of you as people rises other peoples in other galaxies, solar systems, star systems, multiverses. Everything is rising. As we increase these connections, then you will feel and find that you are connecting with other galaxies, other peoples, in a way that you have so far not experienced for more than 10,000 years. Since the time of Atlantis, Lemuria before that, there have been often times that we have been around you and we come again. You will see over the coming 2, 3, 4 years an increase in sightings of what you call UFOs. We have always been around and visiting Gaia and planet Earth, but because you were not ready to embrace the unknown, then this was hidden from your view. The vibration has risen on the planet sufficiently for enough of you that you are now ready to begin to embrace greater awareness of life outside of your physical world, including the help, support, and technologies that will soon be available to you in greater quantities than they have been thus far. Do not fear the change that technology brings you. Like all things, some will increase your ease, and some will be put to one side to be revisited at a future time dimension. So, as you step into and embrace this new energy, please know that we are with you. We love you. We are there guiding you. Connect out with us, with others, and within yourself, for all starts within you. As you strengthen your connection with yourself, you will find automatically that your connections with others are also strengthened. The channeled energy has now stepped back. So it's me talking to you now. My suggestion to you through this period of the next few weeks is to feel into your heart and allow it to expand. Feel into your emotions and become comfortable with them. Feel into your thoughts and thinking and belief systems, and continually, regularly keep checking in with yourself, because you will find that your beliefs are shifting. What you used to believe will no longer resonate and feel true for you. What you used to align with, you will no longer align with. Embrace this, for it is growth, it is shift, it is change, and it is for the betterment of not only us as people, but for the whole universe. Thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed this podcast and found it useful, please subscribe to this podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google Play, and more, where you can leave up to a 5-star review. If you want to support my work or want to know more, please go to my website, juliepooleonline.com, where you will find details of my new book, From Hoping to Having, available on Amazon worldwide, and more about my work, products, and services. The link is in the show notes. Thank you for listening. See you in the next episode.